Good morning, class. So, welcome back for our science lecture. Today, we're going to start with Science 1. Okay, so last lecture we had completed with Science 2, chapter number 2. Now, today, we're going to be doing Science 1. We have already completed one chapter in Science 1, that is chapter number 5, Inside the Atom. Now, today, we're going to start with the second chapter of Science 1, that is force and pressure. Lesson number 3, force and pressure. Okay, children. Now, what is force? Now, you have already studied in your earlier classes. Now, what is force? What do you understand by force? So, energy that is required to push or pull, and because of that push and pull, there is a change in the motion or a shape of the object. For example, if you push a box, so the box gets moved from its place, or if you pull a rubber band, so the shape of the rubber band changes. So whenever the shape or the motion changes, that means force is applied. Okay, so this chapter we will learn in detail about force and pressure. Today's lecture is concentrated on what is force. Okay, let's get started. You can in your textbook, page number 14, this diagram is given, pictures are given, which I have said you to observe. Observe the pictures given. There are various activities given here. The first one is a car moves forward when a man applies force from behind. Second one is a dog is being pulled by his master. And third one is where a boy is playing football, is kicking the ball away. So what do you observe in this? What you can see in this? In this, two bodies are there. In the first one, car is also there and man is there. Second one, dog is there and the boy is there. Third one, the football and the boy. So there are two bodies which are present, which are in contact with each other. They are in touch with each other, contact with each other. Okay, so such a type of force where the contact is there, such force is called as your contact force. Okay, such a force is where a force that acts on two bodies through interaction between them. Such forces are called as your contact forces. Now, these are the second events given to you where the iron nails automatically get stuck to the magnet. Second, the comb. This experiment many people have done in their childhood. Like they put pieces of paper, they rub the comb on their head and they check. So the piece of paper sticks to the comb. It's a type of static electricity which you have learned in your earlier classes. And the third one where the coconut automatically falls down. Now in such events, there is no contact between these two bodies. It is automatically the force is applied. Okay, coconut falling from a coconut tree is because all the objects are attracted to the earth due to a force of gravity. So gravitational force is there. The coconut will not lie on the or will not remain on the air. It will come down. Anything that goes up will come down due to gravitational force. Second, the comb gets rubbed on the air. Small pieces which are kept on the table are get attracted to the comb. This is a type of an electrostatic charge. Okay, and third, which is magnetic force, which is there because ions have magnetic property. They get attracted towards a magnet. It's a type of magnetic force. So in this forces, the two objects are not in contact with each other. Such are called as your non-contact forces. So in the previous one, in this we saw the force is seen to act through a direct contact of the object. Okay, via one object or via two objects, such forces are called as your contact force. While in this figure, the force is applied between two objects, even if the objects are not in contact with each other. You can see the force there. Magnetic force is going on. electrostatic forces going on and gravitational forces there, but there is no contact between the object. Such force is called as your non-contact forces. I hope you're clear with this. Muscular force is also one example of contact force. Muscular force is when you're pushing something, when you're pulling something, okay, when you're bending something, or when you're lifting something, is a type of your contact forces. While other forces like your magnetic force, gravitational force, electrostatic force act without having contact. So such are the examples of your non-contact forces. Okay. Now there is one more. This by the two types of forces: contact forces, interaction between the objects that touch. Okay, and second is non-contact forces, attract or repel even from a distance. They either attract them or it repels without, even from a distance, without the contact. Okay, applied force, where the man is hitting the ball, so the force has been applied there. Spring, when you push the spring, when you do it, the spring elaborates. Again, the force is applied there. Drag, when an object has been dragged from one place to another. Frictional, sometimes when you see, you try to slip over. If banana peel is there, you slip over, or you slip over a mud also. That is due to friction. Okay, all objects, when we are walking on the ground, so there is a force of friction which is there between them, and when the force, that friction gets reduced, so we slip. So that's a frictional force. Or the normal force, when an object is kept on a table, a normal force. All these are contact forces. While magnetic force, electric force, gravitational force are your non-contact force. Now there's one more. Try this experiment is given in page number 15 of your textbook, where they've said take two plastic bottles with rectangular shape, close their openings by fitting the lids tightly, keep two small bar magnets on them and fix them neatly using a sticking tape. Okay, so they've taken two rectangular shaped plastic bottles, they've put a bar magnet on it, and they've stuck the bar magnet on the bottle. Now fill the plastic tray with water and leave two bottles floating with magnets at the top. Now in that plastic tray, you put water and you put this two plastic plastic bottles on the floating. So what you see is the one bottle will come nearer to the other bottle. Now if the North Pole and the South Pole, here you can see the red color is your South Pole, the blue color is the North Pole. So in one bottle it is south to north, second bottle it is north to south. So whenever the North Pole and South Pole comes face to each other while floating, they come towards each other because unlike poles attract each other. While on the other hand, if you see that if the bottles while floating, if same poles come to each other like north and north or south and south, if the same poles come in contact with each other, then they move away from each other because like poles repel each other. So here there is no contact of the bottles with each other, but still you can see the force here, the motion of the bottle. That means there's a force which exists, and that is your non-contact force. Okay, so I hope you're clear with the two types of forces, contact and non-contact forces. Let us move forward, learn about the other two type of force, that is your balanced and unbalanced force. Balanced force is when the forces on both the sides or in the opposite direction are same and equal, and the object will not move, it will remain at rest, is your balanced force. While unbalanced forces, when the forces on both the sides will be unequal, and because of the unequal forces the object will move, then it is an unbalanced force. So because if the forces are same and the object is stationary, is not moving, then it's a balanced force. While if the because of the force, if there is an unbalanced force, if the force are not same, one is more and one is less, then the object will move in either direction, then it's an unbalanced force. Here this is a very simple example of unbalanced force, that is your tug of war. In tug of war, if both the teams have equal number of players and equal forces applied, then that rope does not move. But as soon as if one side the force gets reduced, then the rope easily moves. So this is a very good example of a balanced and an unbalanced force. Again in page number 15, they have given you this, try this. They have said take a cardboard box, tie thick string to its two sides and keep it on a smooth table. Take the string on both the sides of the table, tie weighing pans to two ends. Keep equal masses in both the pans. So what they have done, they have taken a cardboard and both they have added a string. String means a thread, and to the thread they have kept weights, equal amount of weights, 10 kg to 10 kg there, that way. Okay, so what you observe here is the box will not move because the mass is same. Now if more mass is kept in one of the pan, now what you can do is in one of the pan you can add the mass. So what you will observe now, the box starts moving towards that pan which has more masses. Okay, gravitational force acting on both the pans will be equal. Okay, because balanced force is there. On contradictory, if the mass is kept in one pan is more than the other, the direction, the box direction will be towards a pan which has more weight. So first it was equal forces, so it's a balanced force. Then it became unequal forces, one is more, one is less, then it's an unbalanced force. So this is your second type of forces, balanced and unbalanced force. Okay, now three things you need to remember in force. First is here, if several forces are applied, here two people are carrying this sofa, so several forces applied in the same direction because both are going in the same direction. So when two people are applying same force in the same direction, the force will be added. Suppose 25 Newton is the force applied by first person, 20 Newton is the force applied by second person, both the forces will be added because both are going in the same direction. I'm focusing on that same direction. If two or more forces are applied on same direction, then the force will be added. It will be addition of the both the force. Why? Here in this case, if you can see, both are trying to get that thing. So the force applied here is in the opposite direction. Okay, here the force is applied is on the opposite direction. So when the force applied is on the opposite direction, the force will be the difference. In the same direction it will be addition, in the opposite direction it will be difference. So suppose 10 Newton is applied by the first animal and the second is 12 Newton, so difference between two is 2 Newton. So 2 Newton is a net force or the total force applied, so there will be a difference. Okay, so these are the two types of force. If the force is in the same direction, it will be addition of that force. If the force is in the opposite direction, it will be the difference of that force. Now, there are two types of quantities which are there when you talk about physics. There are two quantities, always remember this: scalar quantity and vector quantity. Scalar quantity will be having only magnitude like length, area, volume, speed. It will not have direction. Like length cannot have direction. I cannot say this much length is having right direction. No. Or area will not have direction, left direction, right direction, up, down, nothing. So scalar quantities will have only magnitude, only mass. The direction will not be present, while vector quantities will have direction and magnitude. Now if you say your force is having both mass is also there and direction is also there. We can say no, force is applied on right direction, force is applied on left direction, force is applied upward, force is applied downward. So that means force comes in vector quantity. Okay, so force is a type of vector quantity because it has both magnitude and direction. Okay, always remember this. This is the basics of physics. Scalar and vector quantity. Scalar means which have only magnitude, no direction, while vector means which have magnitude and direction. And today, because we are learning about force, force is an example of a vector quantity. Okay, children? Okay. Now there are different effects of force. There can be different effects. Like the first example, a man is using force to move a stationary lawn marrow. So he is pushing that lawn marrow. Force is applied there is for pushing. When a cyclist is using his bigger force for pedaling his bicycle to increase the speed. Okay. Third is a footballer is using force to change the direction of the ball. Is again that different type of force. Fourth, a baker is using a force to on his dough to shape it into a correct puff. Like he's applying he's applying force to his dough. So the force can be for different things. Force is required to stop an object, to move an object, okay, to move a stationary object, or to stop a stationary object, a moving object, or to give a shape to the object. Force is required. So this way, these are some examples of effects of forces. Okay. Now next thing that we're going to learn, we learned about what is force, what are different types of forces. Now we'll learn about inertia. What is inertia? Now this experiment is given here. You take a postcard and keep it on a glass and keep a 5 rupee coin on it, on the postcard. Now you push or you pull the card. Now what you observe here is the 5 rupee card will 5 rupee coin will not move with the postcard there. 5 rupee coin will fall into the glass because due to inertia the coin will remain at rest, because the coin was at rest, it was not moving, it was at rest there, it will remain at rest, it will not move with the cardboard. So when an object remains at rest, when it is at rest, it's inertia. Or if the object moves, continues to remain moving when it is in motion, it is inertia. Okay, so there are 3 types of inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. So what do you mean by inertia of rest? This is one of the example. The body to change its states of rest is called as inertia of rest. The body will not change its state of rest. It will remain at rest even if the force is applied. The card will move, but that coin will remain at rest. What is inertia of motion? Everyone has experienced this. When you are in a vehicle and when you apply brakes, you tend to come forward because we are in motion with the bus, and suddenly when the brakes are applied, our body is still in motion, so we come forward. So that is, our body will still remain in motion. So whenever the property of the body to remain in the state of motion and it will not change is called as inertia of motion. And the third one, inertia of direction, ability of the body to change by itself its direction of motion. Like other example which I can give you, when we are in a vehicle and suddenly when a turn is there, so if the turn is towards the left hand side, all the passengers move to the left hand side because of the inertia of direction. So this is inertia of direction. Okay, are we clear with this? So this was what we learned today about force. Today we have learned about force. What is force? What are different types of forces? Contact force, non-contact forces, balanced force, unbalanced force. Then we saw the 3 points. If the force is in the same direction, it will be addition. Force is in the opposite direction, it will be subtraction. And force is a type of a vector quantity because it has magnitude and direction. Then we saw different forces can be applied to pull, to push, to give shape, etc. And we saw what is inertia. Inertia is when a body, the tendency of the body to remain at rest or in motion is called as inertia. 3 types of inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of direction. Okay, are we clear with this? See, I'm going to send you the notes every lecture. After every lecture, whatever I've taught you up till that, I'll send you the notes so that it doesn't become a burden for you to write the notes together. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to complete it. You're going to send me the notes after, whenever I send you the notes on the group, and the notes have to be sent to me on my personal number, and it has to be done. Only few people are doing it, so it has to be done. It has to be submitted. I'm keeping a record of it, and people who are not submitting it on time, then later on you have to face the consequences for that. So please complete your notes. Okay, next lecture we're going to learn about pressure. What is pressure? The second part of this chapter. There are 2 parts in this chapter: force and pressure. Today we learned about force. Second chapter we're going to learn about pressure. Okay, second part we're going to learn about pressure. Okay, thank you very much.